All right, good evening and welcome to the Planning and Zoning meeting for the City of Smyrna. Tonight is March 8, 2021. It's 6 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. At this time, we'd like to ask that all your electronic devices are turned off. For those of you joining us for the first time, this meeting is conducted much like a council meeting. As such, there will be a presentation from city staff, question and answer session between staff and the board, and then we'll have the applicant come forward and tell us a little bit about their plan. After the applicant's had an opportunity, we'll open it up for public comment, see if there's anyone that's in attendance that is in favor of or opposition to the application. We ask that you come forward one at a time, state your name and address for the record, sign the sign-in sheet at the podium, and please give us enough time to disinfect the podium in between speakers. We would also ask that you maintain a social distance and keep your mask on while in the room. The first item on our agenda tonight is item ORD 2021-005. This is approval of ordinance 2021-05 for the code. We are going to table this item to the next meeting. If I could get a motion to table. Motion, Mr. Smith. Second. I accepted a motion from Mr. Smith. Can we have the second? I believe Henriette, yes, was the second. And all in favor, please vote. Mr. Seagraves. I'm not. The motion to table is approved 7-0. Okay. The next item on our agenda is item 2021-007, zoning request Z21002. This item will be tabled to the April 12th, 2021 Planning and Zoning meeting. Can I get a motion to table this item, please? I have a motion, Mr. Seagraves. A second. Mr. Rice. All in favor, please vote. It's been tabled 7-0. Okay. The next item on our agenda is item 2021-084. This is variance request V21028 to allow variances for lot size, lot width, front side, and rear setback for annexation of a non-conforming lot in land lot 519. This is 0.192 acres, 2474 Adams Drive. Mr. Richard Griffin and Ron Dixon are the applicant. Mr. Staubs?
Joey Staubs, Player 2 with Community Development. This is an annexation of a lot on 2474 Adams Drive. Your recommendation will go to Mayor and Council next Monday, March 15th. Subject property is about 1.92 acres. It is a legal non-conforming lot currently, but it's in the county. The applicant wants to annex it into the city. It's currently zoned R20, and we are proposing to keep the R20 zoning and the land use of low-density residential. All of the properties around it to the north, west, and south are in the county, and they are low-density residential. And then to the east is medium-density residential in the city. This is the proposed site plan. Proposed setbacks are front 15 feet, side of 5, and rear of 15. It does need several variances since it's a non-conforming lot with R20 zoning. So there's 5 variances. One for lot width from 85 feet to 62 feet. One for minimum lot size from 20,000 square feet to 8351 square feet. The next is to allow reduction of minimum front setback from 35 to 15 feet. Reduction of the rear setback from 35 feet to 15 feet. and allow reduction of the minimum side setback from 12 feet to 5 feet. These are the proposed home elevation and the picture of the subject property as it currently is. These are some pictures of the adjacent properties. And staff recommends approval of the annexation from R20 in Cobb County to R20 in Smyrna with the following variances. 1, the minimum lot size shall be 8,351 square feet. 2, the minimum lot width shall be 62 feet. Minimum front setback shall be 15 feet. Minimum side setback shall be 5 feet. Minimum rear setback shall be 15 feet. And then 6, it's approved based on the site plan submitted that I've just shown you. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions for Mr. Staubs? Okay, thank you, sir. At this time, we'd like to ask if the applicant is here, if you could come forward and tell us a little bit about your application. Yeah,
I'm Ron Dickinson, and this is Richard Griffin. We're both 50-50 partners. And the house is just a country-style house, about 2,500 square feet. The garage in the back is going to be a studio apartment above it, about 500 square feet. Craftsman style garage apartment, and the house is really craftsman style. This will be the 4th house on the street that we built, and it's really this will really help improve the street, and I think it will improve the city as well. And just thank you for your consideration in reviewing this, and if you have any questions.
thank you, Mr. Dickinson. Any questions for the applicant? Mr. Bentley?
Just something you said there that I didn't catch in reviewing the plan and the application. You said the garage at the back is going to have a studio apartment in it?
Yes, sir, above the garage.
So what is that for the homeowner, or is that for?
That's for the homeowner, yes, sir.
So that's not going to be a rental property
No, sir.
back there?
No, not at all.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dickinson. At this time, we'd like to ask if there's anyone in attendance that would like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to the application. If you could just give Mr. Staubs a moment to, I've got to get this off. If you give Mr. Staubs a moment to clean up the podium, we'd be happy to hear what you have to say. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. I'm Karen O'Brien. I live on the street, the house down.
Could you say your name again, please?
Sorry about
That's okay.
that. My name is Karen O'Brien. I live on the street, and actually purchased one of Mr. Dickinson's homes last year. I have a question, and right now I'm kind of in between. But what I'd like to know is the city of given that there's going to be more development going on that street, are there plans to kind of look at the infrastructure, mainly like the drainage and for the most part, the drainage, because I've noticed that there's more flooding and puddling going on around in the street. The street kind of dips down. So my concern is, as we're doing more development, what the city is doing to ensure that the current infrastructure, which I imagine is somewhat old, can support the development.
Okay, that's a good question. Let's see if we can get somebody to come answer it for us. I don't believe the city engineer is here tonight, but I'd be glad
Sure.
to give you his phone number, and you could call him and
Yeah,
work it out. But you want to speak to that, sir?
Yes, sir. Rusty Martin, Community Development Director. That road, a portion of the properties are in Smyrna, and a portion of the properties are in an unincorporated Cobb County. So technically that road today is unincorporated Cobb's. If annexation changes and that road becomes City of Smyrna, then yes, we'd have the opportunity to look at the improvements to that road at that point.
But that's kind of after the fact, and like my house is in Smyrna. I'm in the city of
Yeah.
Smyrna. And it's kind of weird the way that street.
Yeah, it's, anytime you're in a transition area like that, it makes it very difficult for all the services to, but it's a very good question. The question that I would ask, Mr. Martin, is, as part of this application, is there, stormwater retention as part of the application that we can point to? Are there any infrastructure improvements that they're doing on a local basis, which ultimately it'll help, it helps, but collectively, there's some negative impacts to any time you develop. But
Because this is an annexation and not a rezoning, no, there's not.
Okay.
Also, it's a tear down of existing structure and a reconstruction of a new structure. If it doesn't exceed the minimal or the maximum allowable impervious surface area, then typically there's not going to be a stormwater management facility associated with
and I
it.
did read that they were staying under the 35%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this request went to Cobb County. Obviously, they were notified. Their staff reviewed it, and they sent back a notice of non-objection on it.
Okay, thank you. That's still, if we could get the city engineer's contact information to Ms. O'Brien, that she could certainly contact him and see what the plans are, because he would know going forward
Right.
what we're looking at as far as holistic improvements.
Yeah, I just want to know that it's being considered, has
Oh, absolutely.
changes I'm not against the change. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that we're, as you said, holistically looking at the bigger picture,
Yeah.
because once it's done, it's hard to kind of turn back the clock.
You're absolutely correct.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments from anyone in attendance that'd like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to? Mr. Jones?
Just to make a kind of comment on that, I think I heard that all the houses on that street are septic. And so I think once it would become under city control, they would probably consider expanding the city water services out there, the sewer services out there, which would then include improvements to the road, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's, okay. Any other comments, questions? Yes, sir. Is this for the applicant or for staff?
I think it's for staff. I just want to clarify, maybe Mr. Martin could clarify, because I don't know what the requirement is, about the studio apartment in the back. What is the city requirement about that? About apartments in the backyard, basically?
From my understanding, Mr. Dixon may have to answer this question. If there is not a full kitchen, which means a stove and a full bath, then it's not a dwelling unit. I mean, it can be an apartment and somebody can use it for office or whatever uses they want. But as long as it does not have a stove, which makes it a full kitchen, if they just had a refrigerator and a kitchenette with a sink and a microwave, that'd be fine. But as soon as they add the stove, that creates an additional dwelling unit, and that's not allowed. And
That's correct. I mean, we have no intention of making this a separate dwelling, apart from the main house. I mean, we had no intention of that at all.
I think the concern is, in the age we live in, you may not have the intention to do that, but the person that buys the house from you very well may have that intention.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get into a whole series of other issues with the city for having multiple dwellings on the lot, which makes it a very painful experience for all involved, to be honest with you.
But the city's zoning ordinance currently prohibits accessory structures from being leased or rented for gain. So, if this got it turned into an Airbnb, then there's a code enforcement opportunity to correct the issue at that point because it's restricted by code.
Right. And I will just, anecdote, because of the environment we're in, I'm getting a lot of solicitations for people to build accessory structures with, not necessarily dwelling units, but office, people working from home, and it's not the friendliest environment, especially if small children, can be a little bit distracting. So there's a lot of that going on as well, but that's just my 2 cents. Any other comments? Okay. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion. Mr. Smith has a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Bentley. All in favor, please vote. Your application is approved 7-0. Gentlemen, good luck with your project, and thanks for your continued investment in Smyrna. Yes, sir. The next item on our agenda is 2021-085. This is to be tabled to the April 12th meeting. Is that correct? This is to be tabled to the April 12th meeting. Can I get a motion to table this item, please? Do you have a motion to table this item? Motion, Mr. Jones. Second. Mr. Phillips. Sorry. I got it, though. All in favor of tabling this item, please vote. Has successfully been tabled 7-0. Couple things before we, I'll go ahead and do the minutes. I need approval of the minutes is the last item on our agenda from the February 8th, 2021 meeting. I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented, Michael Seagraves, and a second, Mr. Victor Jones. All in favor of the minutes, please vote. All right, the minutes were approved 6-1. Okay, thank you. Minutes were approved 6-1. All right. We all right? All right. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Charlie Phillips, our new Ward 1 representative. Replaces, got big shoes to fill. I told him in our last meeting. Tom Bartlett was on here for a long time, really good guy. Enjoyed the meetings like this because there can be some long, contentious ones. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Bentley back from his hiatus of being on the phone, and I do appreciate all the extra effort that you had to put in to entertain us on the phone. It's been quite a challenging year, so really appreciate you coming back. Any other comments? Anything from anybody out there? Oh, no. High cotton. All right. Downstairs? Okay, excellent. Excellent. So our next meeting will be back in council chambers. All right. Thanks for all you guys for being here. This meeting is adjourned at 6:20.